to be said in the spirit of this channel. I sprayed my bike down a little bit before doing this video, but I don't have a balcony at home in my apartment, so it's kind of difficult for me to clean my bike. I do get it serviced regularly and all that type of thing, and get it cleaned every now and then. But yeah, I would love to have a balcony so I could just like hose it down and give it a proper clean after every ride, but do not have that luxury at the moment. Okay, let's get this looking reasonably decent. Whew. Disgusting. What is up, dudes and dudettes? I'm going to do a quick unsolicited bike check. I thought some of you may be interested in this because my bike is relatively my bike is relatively budget friendly, but doesn't really compromise on performance. So a lot of people say cycling as a sport is getting like prohibitively expensive and that it's just not possible to get into it anymore. But I'm gonna show you what I've done to try and be budget friendly, because obviously I'm also focused on other things financially, but I did want to get something that was like rad performance. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so to get things started, I'm on an Arione carbon rail saddle, which is a bit of a controversial choice because many people know it as a castrator, but for me, I don't know why, it just seems to take pressure off in the right places, and I like the fact that it's nice and long so I can move forward and backwards on the saddle. I change position quite a lot between climbing, flat roads, what have you, so this one just works for me. And yeah, other people seem to think that it removes their ability to have kids. Yeah, I guess everybody's different. I got a small Bontrager saddlebag with a Park Tool multi-tool, a tube, and some levers in there. Try to keep it lightweight, not a weight weenie, but try to keep things minimal. Bars, I'm running the Winspace Zero bar and stem. It's fully slammed, and yeah, I think it's 40 millimeters wide, sorry, 40 centimeters wide. And yeah, nice and clean. I love a clean cockpit, no complaints here, nice and stiff. Head unit, at the moment I'm running something called an IGP Sport. Don't remember the model number exactly right now, but it's got a nice big bright screen, crazy battery life, and yeah, so far no complaints. I got Shimano Ultegra Di2 11 speed on here. Chainring sizes are 52, 36, and in the back I've got an 1130, which I don't know, I'd like something bigger for climbing, but I just haven't figured out how to get stuff going yet. So yeah, I mean, it's perfectly fine for climbing, but I'm quite a heavy guy. I'm like 82 kgs, so climbing on this gearing setup, it's a bit rough on occasion, depending on the gradient, but on occasion it's been a bit rough. But yeah, obviously Ultegra 11 speed is very, very nice to ride on. You guys know all about that. As for the power meter, I'm running the Machine dual-sided power meter. I think mine is one of the first generations because it takes a battery like a watch style battery, that's circular battery, and yeah, I'd prefer it if it was charged by a cable, but I think it's one of the first iterations, and that means that you got to deal with these kind of things, but it was very budget friendly, so that's kind of why I went into it. I used to be running 172.5 mil cranks before, but this power meter had already got 170 mil cranks on it, and honestly I'm preferring running the shorter cranks. I've heard a lot of positive reviews or a lot of positive experiences when people have shortened their crank length. Mine is purely anecdotal, I don't have any like numbers to back that up right now, but it definitely feels like I got more power and it feels better now that I'm used to it. It wasn't a big change for me though. As for the wheels, we are running the previous edition Hypers. Obviously the new Hypers have just come out, the 2023 Hypers that have the deeper internal, sorry, the wider internal rims and the different rim depth. So the front is shallower than the back. Mine are equal in depth, both of them are 65s, and yeah, I mean, it's carbon spokes, ceramic bearings, and 65 mil deep wheels from the Lewin brand, the Hyper range, and loving them, like just absolute speed machines. They are very flattering, and yeah, you just feel like an absolute beast when you're riding these. The Winspace T1500 frame, got it in the pearl white color. And yeah, I would say that if you're trying to build a budget-friendly race machine, this type of thing is, yeah, well within the top level of performance, but nice and budget-friendly. As for actual performance numbers and blah 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 blah, I'm not going to get into any of that because I do not have a engineering or science-based background. So you can go and check out maybe Peak Talk or Hambini. You probably already have if you found your way to this video by searching Winspace or whatever. But on an anecdotal basis, this bike and these wheels have not skipped a beat. Like, I've had absolutely zero issues with quality, and the speed feels rad. The weight, this bike as an aero build with 65mm wheels, disc brakes and an electronic group set runs me at 8.02 kgs when I don't have the pump on it, or the bottles, or the saddlebag, or the GPS. So if I just take the bike, that is with pedals on it though. So like with pedals and a saddle and the GPS mount is 8.02 kgs. So that's pretty sick for a large frame. Definitely not complaining too much about the weight. Yeah, considering it's an aero frame with deep wheels. As for my pedals, cheapest pedals you can find. Literally went on Taobao, which is like the Chinese version of AliExpress, and bought the cheapest Shimano road pedals because I had these on my first bike, which is 3 bikes ago, embarrassingly, and yeah, they haven't done me wrong. They're not very light, but I'm not a watt monster, so I don't really notice any performance differences other than being a little bit heavier than some other, you know, higher tier pedals. So yeah, let me know if you have any similarities on your bike, or if you think I should have done anything differently. But yeah, I think honestly for budget friendly bike, this is perfect.